latest interview for Bury VCFA. My name is Steph Marie and I'm a volunteer interviewer for Bury VCFA. This afternoon I'm chatting to Jill Logan. Jill is the Chief Executive of Bury Blind Society. Hello Jill, and thanks for joining me today. So please can you tell us about the role of Bury Blind Society and the service that it offers to the people of Bury?
Yeah, sure. Hi, thank you very much for inviting me. The role of Bury Blind Society. So we are a local charity. We celebrated our centenary last year, so we've been going a while. But we are here to support anybody or any adult who lives in Bury who has a non-corrected eye condition. So the services that we offer, I always describe ourselves as a bit of a charity of two halves, because we are actually a commissioned service on behalf of Bury Council. And that side of things is like the clinical side, where we provide home assessments. As soon as somebody's been diagnosed with an eye condition, you can self-refer, we can be referred by doctors or by the eye hospitals and so on. And we will come and do a home assessment, or you can come and see us at the centre. And we've got qualified rehab officers. And from there, we'll provide you with equipment, and we'll do lighting assessments and all that side of things. So it's like the clinical side.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it works really well because that feeds naturally into the social prescribing side of it, if you like, or that emotional support that's available for people. Because then, from the charity side, we also do specialist support groups, social activities. I mean, today, which is, it's Burns Week this week, isn't it?
Robert Burns.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Robert Burns was, he was a Scottish poet.
Yeah, 25th of January, wasn't it, his birthday? So we've had a theme lunch today where we celebrated that. There's a lot of activities that go on, and music groups and all sorts of other things, yeah. So, and there's a lot of emotional practical support and specialist equipment, so that's kind of our remit, that's a wide remit.
and in the introduction, Jill, I obviously mentioned that you're the Chief Officer of the Bury Blind Society, so what does that role involve, and what do you do within that role?
Well, I'm guessing that a lot of people would relate to this, because if you are a Chief Officer of a small local society like we are, you can have such a varied day. No day is the same, and from 1 hour to the next, you could be doing. One moment I can be writing a bid, or I can be putting together a strategic plan, speaking to commissioners, and then the next moment, as I've just been saying, I was waitressing for our Burns lunch. Last week I was in Tesco's because we're nominated for Blue Tokens. So, you can be doing all sorts of things. You've got to turn your hand to everything.
So, obviously it is a very varied role, then no one day is ever the same. So, has there been an activity that you have been involved in at Bury Blind Society that you're particularly proud of, or other members of staff have been particularly proud of?
I think I would say, probably on behalf of the whole of the staff team, is we are particularly proud of the fact that we are working with Bury Council, and that we are the sensory support on behalf of Bury Council for people with visual impairment. I think it has been such a wonderful partnership. It works really well, and more importantly, it's value to the member of the public, to the actual client. And it provides a smooth pathway for them. We're there for them every step of the way. But the other thing that I would say personally, I know I was so proud last year that we did a fundraiser. It was all in relation to our centenary year, and we did an abseil down Peel Tower. Now you're going to say, yes, I did get roped into it, and I did end up abseiling, which I'm sure I didn't put my name down for initially. But what made me proud was 2 young men who came along who are some of our newly diagnosed, who we've been working with. So when they first came to us, they had no confidence. One had lost his job, the other was again struggling. And we've been working with them, and both of them actually decided they would do this abseil, and they abseiled down Peel Tower. And both are registered blind, and I just felt so proud of them. I really did.
And for them it must have been a very proud and rewarding moment for them also.
Yeah. I mean, I now got them asking me they want to do the driving experience now, the blind driving experience.
Oh, that'd be really, really interesting. So, obviously that was one event for your centenary year, obviously the abseil. But is there any other activities, projects or events that are coming up that Bury Blind Society are involved in or going to be involved in?
Well, I think again it's those sort of different sides of us. As from our perspective, we're really excited this year because we're focusing on two priorities, and one of them in particular is working with younger working age adults and helping them to navigate through the whole sort of barriers that you've got when you're younger, and helping people back into employment. So that's a real focus for us this year, and we're very excited about that. On a more sort of basic level, I guess that we've just started a temping bowling group, and they're starting to meet every Tuesday. So all the way through until the end of March. And at the end of March, we're going to do a temping bowling competition, where we're going to invite other organisations and community groups and anybody else who wants to join us to have teams. So if you want to join us, you're very welcome. So the team are going to be playing against us, so it's a good competition. But what to level the playing field, everybody's going to have to wear the SIM specs if you're not a visually impaired person.
Right, so everyone's equal and no one's different that way then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's and I think from that point of view, it's going to raise awareness as well. Be fun.
So obviously now we've talked about the positive side of the Bury Blind Society, but isn't everything the sort of challenges with the cost of living and everything going up? So are there any challenges specifically that are currently facing the Bury Blind Society?
Well, again, I think like a lot of the charities here and businesses as well, we're all suffering from the lack of resources that are around and funding, and we're no different to anybody else. We're self-funded. I know we have a commission service, but everything else we do is from our own fundraising activities. So I think we're certainly going to find that to be a challenge with the rising costs, and to try and support our clients as well, because they too are still coming out of the anxiousness and the concerns they've had through the pandemic. So we're trying to build their confidence up, and then of course now we're getting knocked down again because of having financial worries and that sort of thing. So I think those are things that are really going to be sort of taking a bit of a hold at the moment.
And obviously with the funding and the costs of everything, how do you think these challenges can be overcome?
Well, I have to say, I do think that if anything, you'd never want to go through that pandemic again, would you? But if there's something that came out of it, I think it was about us all working together and the value of that, and working in partnership, and also looking at, because there's a lack of resources, it's about, let's not duplicate. If you've got another group who are doing something similar, then why don't we actually work on that and maybe raise awareness or do some training from our point of view, perhaps do visual awareness training with another group, but it means our guys can then go along to that. So it's about that economy, isn't it, of looking at, let's spread that, if there's a lack of funding, let's spread it between us and see what we can make sure that we can make the best we possibly can, work together.
So we've just talked quite vividly about Bury Blind Society. So is there anything you would like to say to the listeners who are watching this video, or ask the listeners?
I quite often use this one when I'm giving talks or whatever, and I always say to people, next time you go and have your tea, something like tonight, and you've got your meal in front of you, just close your eyes and actually try and eat your tea without having sight, And just for that one moment, you will experience the challenges that people have with visual impairment. You know, obviously you can open your eyes again, they can't, and it's just to be aware of that, you know, and yeah.
That's a really good thought, because I know from having a physical disability myself, obviously I'm not visually impaired, but I'm a wheelchair user, I have cerebral palsy, and I just think people who haven't got cerebral palsy or visually or hearing impairment, they take so much for granted, and they don't have to think about things that disabled people have to think about in their everyday life.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you just said you're a wheelchair user, and I always remember a few years back I actually broke my ankle. It was quite a bad break, and I ended up in a wheelchair, and that really, you know, sort of made me change my perspective, because all of a sudden you don't become a person, do you?
No.
When you're in a wheelchair.
No.
Somebody's pushing you. They don't have a conversation with you. They
No.
have a conversation with the person with. Yeah.
It's more like you become invisible, and you just know for your disability, not you as a person.
Yeah.
So, and finally, just to finish off, do you do anything of interest outside of your role of Chief Officer of Bury Blind?
I'm a very boring person. It pretty much takes over my life, but I am actually a trustee of VCFA, which I really enjoy doing. I feel very passionate about the voluntary sector, so you know I'm very proud to be involved in that. And on a completely left of ball sort of thing is that I do go dancing. I do dancing, which I think is I go once a week. Go ballroom, sort of it's the ballroom dancing and the Latin American stuff.
I would love to learn that, you know, if I could walk, obviously.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think it's just so different, and it completely takes your mind off it. And I am not a strictly fan, I have to say, but and I think it would just depress me anyway because I realise I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Okay.
Thank you for your time today, Joe. It's very appreciated. And thank you for listening and tuning in today. We hope that you've took something of interest in today's interview. Goodbye for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you very soon.